So guys, today is a very special day. I'm just after turning 21 again for the second time, and I'm celebrating it in Cancun. Just landed here today. Well, we're going to Tulum, but we landed in Cancun, so now we need to drive 2 hours to Tulum. That's where 18 wanted to go for some reason, instead of staying in Cancun. But anyway, we're just after picking up this car here in the airport. Got absolutely fleeced by Hertz car rental. So yeah, wouldn't advise going with them. But we have the car
in 400
anyway.
meters, turn right onto the slip road.
Excuse Eddie in there. We have the car anyway, and we.
In 300 meters, turn right onto the slip road.
Oh, I was interrupting me like. We have the car in here, and we are just with the knocker filled down on a bike, and we're just on the way to Tulum. So 2 hours, so we get to see a little bit of, I suppose, Mexico along the way. Hopefully it's safe. And yeah, we'll show you a bit more when we get there anyway. So yeah. Not exactly the weather we were expecting here now in Tulum. It's absolutely hissing. And we're only here for 30 minutes at the minute, but the weather actually doesn't look too great over the next few days, unfortunately, but what can you do? Just have to make the most of it. Hopefully it passes, and you know, if it's overcast, but once it's not raining, like, you can't really do a whole lot when it's raining, can you? So wasn't expecting this, so yeah, hopefully it clears up. So busy. Just in the jungle gym now in Tulum. Really cool spot, guys. Lots of equipment. Probably the best jungle gym I've been in. I've been in a few different ones in Dubai and other places, but this one, man, has just everything. Really fancy rowing machines here. Everything handmade by carpenters as well. And obviously they're using some stone for the weights too, but really impressive. Bamboo here for the squat rack. So really cool equipment here, I must say. And there's another one in the home, or not the home, in the middle of the town, I should say, calling this place home already, that we're going to check out as well. They obviously extended after this one got so popular. So yeah, really impressive place. See, it goes all the way down the back there. So yeah, just halfway through the workout now. Let's get it done. Here to see the days. Needed you, wanted you to stay mine. When it came, you left around my favorite time, yeah. You down this road, past the street a hard time. Claim you haven't eaten in days. Drinking your weight champagne. You're too busy dancing in the club to our songs. Turned up on my phone, changing your whole tone. Playing with my emotions, playing with my emotions, playing with my emotions, playing with my emotions. Day 2 in Tulum. Weather isn't very good. It hasn't improved too much. Fairly overcast. It's not raining as much today, thankfully. So we're going to go to the beach and have a bit of a beach day, but it doesn't look like, as you can see there, it's quite dull. We just walked along, up and down, got some steps in, had some breakfast this morning in a nice place called Potheads. It was actually pretty, it was good. It was expensive though. Everything here is really expensive. It's like Bali vibes kind of, but more expensive. And what else? It is kind of. We're in the jungle and stuff. It's not as good, but it's like Bali, if you were to describe it. Yeah, we went to like a Matcha Mama. We're looking up places on TikTok like we usually do and finding spots that are recommended, but like I wouldn't say that they're exactly that great. We haven't found anything that's like amazing yet, but there's still a few days left. Maybe it'll improve. I think the weather is putting a bit of a dampener on things, so hopefully the next 2 days it picks up a little bit. So I'm just chilling out in this hammock here I seen on the beach is literally just down that way. There's just one long strip and then you're out down onto the beach, and then either side of the strip there's like shops and stuff. Everything's kind of like slapped together. It's not very organised here, but I suppose it's kind of like third worldish. But anyway, we'll show you around a bit more. We're going to visit some ruins and sightseeing and stuff like that, so maybe that'll get a little bit better. Get 2 margaritas.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just cruising down through Tulum here. The town looks pretty kind of, how do you describe it, third world looking. Even like I've been to other places that they say, oh, Bali is very third world, but this seems to be much more run down. And this isn't even the worst part. We were in some bad places a while ago, and it was a lot worse than this. This is like, well, if you look here, these buildings, they're all pretty much run down, but they were literally like shacks they were living in, and it was dirt road. Like, this is actually proper concrete road, so this area isn't even too bad. Sunday night here in Tulum seems a lot quieter than last night around the place. Just found parking there for a place we're going eating, and parking here is extremely expensive, just so you are aware, but luckily it seems free tonight. Usually it can be like $20, which is like 400 pesos or something like that. But anyway, we're just coming up here to what's it called? Where we come? Kitchen Hell? Kitchen Table. Could be Kitchen Hell though, when we get there. So yeah, we'll let you know what it's like afterwards, okay? Over now, but tonight's dinner spot, literally in the jungle. Oi! Looks kind of cool in here though. Quite possibly the best bread I've ever tasted. Freshly baked sourdough, some butter and salt. What do you think?
Yeah, it's really good.
Out of 10?
10.
Margarita to wash it down.
And
And a Marilyn Monroe for me. Here we have the mains, beef brisket, and a ton of wraps inside here. And even for the sea bass. That actually looks really good. Last full day here in Mexico. We're just on our way to a place called Chichen Itza. It's like old Mayan ruins, like a pyramid there and stuff, so that should be pretty cool. And then there's this cenote where you can go swimming and stuff like that. they're like sinkholes that there's some sort of pond or lake after forming there. So that'd be pretty cool. Last night we went to that kitchen table place and it was definitely the best dinner that we've had since we've come here. Really good quality food. Everywhere else has been pretty disappointing. Really, not disappointing, but it was only not meeting our expectations, I suppose. But last night was definitely the best, and we definitely recommend kitchen table. So that's it. We'll give you a look at Chichen Itza when we get there, and the Sonora.
Peninsula, we have only two rivers, we have caves. And that's why Mayan built first of all foundation, and then right at top, temple. Ceremonial center, about 10 square kilometers. 13 BC. This is the beginning of the Maya calendar.
Yeah.
But how many years it took to the Maya people to come up with all this knowledge? Thousands of years.
Yeah. So this is where they used to play their sport, poke the poke, because that's the noise the ball made, this rubber ball that they used. And the captain used to go one side of the team and another captain would be that side. And then the rest of the team would be in the middle of the field. The king would sit up there, the priest would sit up there, and the spectators could watch from the top. And they had to get this ball, which is 4 kgs, through that hole. Or that hole. And if it was for a religious match, the winner, the guy who got the ball through the hole, got to be sacrificed. And apparently that was an honour. So that was a good thing. They actually wanted to be sacrificed. And if it was political, the other team would become, if they lost, one captain would be allowed to chop the head off the other captain. And the team that lost would become slaves to the team that won. And that was their way of solving a lot of wars without actually fighting, apparently, which is crazy to think. The king could speak to the priest as an echo up the side. You can hear some people making noises there to show the echo. So down in Chichen Itza, which is the Mayan ruins here, about 2 hours from Tulum. Really cool experience. We got a tour guide there, about $80, but to be honest, he gave us unbelievable information. Some really interesting stuff. They were like super advanced civilization. The knowledge that they had, apparently, like all the people with knowledge lived inside these walls here, and the commoners, I suppose you would say, lived outside the walls, and they had their own like sports and like river systems, and they done like human sacrifice in certain areas, like down there, for example. In the background you see it in the smaller building, and apparently it was an honour to get sacrificed. So they actually wanted it, and they'd get sacrificed by being good warriors or winning the sport that they used to play. Really glad I came to see it. Definitely worth the trip here if you are in Mexico or Tulum or Cancun or Playa del Carmen. It's about 2 hours from any of those. Cold. Freezing, man.
Now you have to wait 30 minutes.
Huh?
Now you have to wait 30 minutes.
Well, like at least it's done the whole. So guys, we're just in Tulum Nightmare. It's very confusing here, no one really speaks English or anything, so we're just kind of winging it going along here. This is probably the Sonora here now. Take a look, but looks pretty cool here. Oh yeah, let's see. What the quad is about there. Apparently we had an ATV as well, but I don't know where we even go on the ATV. But this looks like where we're going to be getting in here. Obviously you can jump in on swings or something. Possibly no tip you can drive off or something. But we'll see, we'll go down and take a look anyway. More heavy rain today, the last day, last full day, but it just has not stopped since we got here. Yeah, for about an hour it stops, but it's really heavy. Just got unlucky because it looks like it's sunny as soon as we leave, and it was sunny just before we came. But we'll get plenty of sun in Dubai, I suppose. So guys, second jungle gym session in Tulum. This is the second gym they actually created there. It's in the town. It's actually half the price of the one on the beach, and it's actually much better. There's way more selection. See all the dumbbells there, squat racks, bench presses. Really good hack squat down here. Really good hack squat here. How they made it, I do not know. All made out of wood. Pretty cool. Some free weights there. Easy bars. Leg press over here is full of them. Again made fully from timber. Cable flies here. Got some triceps, push downs. We've got some palisade stuff here. And over there for dips. And then this is all like back stuff. Pull downs, some different variations of the pull down. More rowing stuff here. And then some rings at the bottom, calisthenic stuff. And you've this cool kind of pulley here. So yeah, really, really good gym. Definitely recommend this one over. The other one is cool too because it's the other jungle gym is cool too because it's on the beach. The location you're probably paying extra for, but this one is definitely better equipped. And yeah, I just found it really, really good to get a decent workout in. So I would definitely recommend checking out both of them as well in Tulum. But this one is half the price. I think it was only $30 for two people, and one at the beach was $60. So I love a good jungle gym wherever I go. Just back from our trip in Tulum. We're having a quick pit stop in Miami before we return to Dubai. Nightmare holiday, really, towards the end of it especially. I'll explain a bit more once I get back to Dubai and what happened, but I would not recommend Tulum, just based off my experience. Of course, I'm sure other people would say different, but I'll explain in more detail once I get back to Dubai. Just here for the last 24 hours in Miami now before we board a plane tonight, of course, which got delayed as well, meaning we missed our connecting flight in London, so we're going to be late over there for an extra bit longer as well. So yeah, not the ideal ending to the trip, but it is what it is, right? So we're on the last stretch home to Dubai in Heathrow Airport. We had a bit of a layover there. The flight got delayed leaving Miami, so we missed our connecting flight, of course, and then just had to get one later today. But I'm just sitting down here getting some check-ins done, making the most of my time. But yeah, not the ideal ending to the holiday that we would have liked. We both, me and Eddie, picked up food poisoning on the last day, which was a terrible day to say the least. we ended up leaving Tulum a little bit earlier then and heading up to Cancun, which we ended up picking up a fine from the cops, which basically tried to extortionate us for excessive amounts of money. We got it down a little bit, but we shouldn't have paid anything. But anyway, we were feeling quite sick after the meal that we had on Wednesday morning, and we were flying out that day. I had planned on actually starting a fast that night, but because we were sick, I ended up starting the fast a bit earlier and ended up doing a 48-hour fast, which actually wasn't too bad. I had my first meal here when we landed in London Heathrow, and it should allow me to tidy things up pretty quickly after this holiday. It's an experiment that I'm doing. I've tried a 24-hour fast before. This time I went for a 48-hour one. I'm maybe going to do a 72-hour one at some stage, but we'll see. So there's a mouse in the background here, as you can see, after photobombing my YouTube video. This is in London Heathrow, by the way, which I thought would be a pretty clean airport out of all the airports that I've been to in the world. So I didn't get a chance to finish off my video in the airport because the camera lady absolutely panicked when she seen a mouse or a rat. I don't know what it was. Some people were saying it was a rat, but anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts a bit more on the trip to Tulum, because it wasn't what I was expecting it to be. It was more third world as well kind of vibe than I was thinking it was going to be. A lot of dirt roads, people living in terrible conditions, which I was surprised at, because when you obviously land in Cancun there, you see it's fairly modern and built up, and Tulum is about a 2-hour drive away, which is a long enough drive when you're driving there yourself in a new country. But I was glad I did get a rental car while I was there. I got to see a bit more of the place, got to go to the Mayan ruins, Chichen Itza it's called. That was probably the highlight of my trip, to be honest. I love all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we got a tour guide while we were there. He was excellent. He explained everything that goes on there. And but yeah, the weather put a bit of a dampener on it, literally, because it was raining so much. It was overcast for the most of the 4 days that we were there, and then raining pretty heavy. There was a few times where we were able to get down to the beach and go for a walk, which was nice. I could probably see, how nice it would be if the weather was better, in terms of down by the beach area, the blue waters, the white sand, and obviously all the places along the beach as well that you can go for a few drinks or food. But outside of that, not the safest place in the world, I would say. There is a lot of armed police around, different organisations as well, not just one kind of police force, we'll say. There's different types of like one might be a National Guard or something. It looks kind of quite intimidating. Only had one kind of run-in with him while we were in Tulum on the way down to the main strip one night when we were heading down for dinner, and they were stopping people. So I was thinking, this is they're going to try and do me for money, because they're notorious for that apparently. But that guy let us go. 2 hours later we were coming back, and then they were still there, and it was raining quite heavily that night as well, and they actually had a car pulled over. Maybe they were looking for someone, I don't know. But yeah, luckily it wasn't me that they stopped anyway. So outside of that, I don't have a whole lot of positive things to say about my experience there. I'm sure a lot of people would have had a great time there when they were there. There is some cool places to stay, and the cenotes as well are quite cool there everywhere. If you don't know what a cenote is, it's like it's a sinkhole that was naturally formed that kind of created some sort of lake, and you can go swimming in these. And outside of that, yeah, wouldn't be in a rush back there. And the food, again, I'm a big foodie. I do love finding new places, and I love Mexican food in general. I cook it a lot, and yeah, I was expecting it to be much better when I was there, when I was going straight to the source for Mexican food. But the people were mixed bag, friendly some, but you're just maybe a bit on edge over there for some reason. I don't know, I just felt that way. It was like a gut feeling I had even before I went there. Would I recommend going there? It's hard for me to say yes when I didn't really enjoy it. I've been to Mexico twice now, and both times weren't really good experience. One time was in Tijuana on the west coast. This time it was on the East Coast. Maybe Mexico is just not for me. If someone else went there, I'm sure they might have a great time, but I would not be in a rush back there anytime soon. Again, I did love the Mayan ruins and stuff like that. I love all that kind of stuff, so that was quite interesting. But outside of that, the jungle gyms were quite good. Did enjoy those, but again, overall my experience, I would say, wasn't what you want it to be for a place that you're visiting. So that's it. So while I was editing this video, I just realised that I didn't actually go into the detail of what really caused this to turn into a nightmare holiday or a holiday from hell, whatever way you want to look at it. But on the very last day, we woke up and said, right, what are we going to do? It was the one day we actually had a bit of sunshine, so we were going to go to the beach or we were going to get some food, but we knew we had to be in the airport for like 5-6 p.m. so we weren't really sure, so we decided to go and get some food. We already were feeling a little bit weary from the night before from a meal that we had. We had one drink each, but we went to this place, had some food, and afterwards we decided to head up towards Cancun, and we said we'd have a look around there, maybe go down to the beach down there because we had a bit of time to kill before the flight. But when we got to Cancun, we were feeling much more under the weather from the food that we were after having, whatever it was. Maybe it was the way where it was cooked or what way it was cooked. It was just a simple breakfast burrito, and we had eaten there before and it was fine, but we just didn't feel very good. And when we got to Cancun, we were looking to go down to the main strip, so we were driving around the roads. They were really confusing, like there's unusual roundabouts and turns off everywhere, and a little bit trickier than normal roads that I'd be used to in Europe, America or Australia, wherever else, even Asia. But anyway, we were driving along, and Eddie was doing the maps, and I decided to take a sharp turn because I thought I was going to miss the turn that the maps were telling us to go to, and we turned off the roundabout and we were heading towards where we were going. The next thing, police officer shot up alongside us on a motorbike, and he went ahead and he just started signalling for us to pull in. And then I was like, oh my god, that's all we need now, just to top everything off on this holiday so far. We pulled in. Next thing he came up, his English was a bit broken, but he was saying that I broke the speed limit, I took a sharp turn, I was on my phone, which I wasn't. Maybe I did take the sharp turn, but the other things I don't believe I done. Aideen was the one actually on the phone, and I was just arguing my case to him, and he was like telling me it was going to be 3,000 pesos for one, 3,000 pesos for another, and another 2,000, which works out about $500, right? And I was like, on the last day now we're getting stung for a $500 fine. And I was like, I can't believe this, like, there must be a way around this. So I had read and I had seen online that if the cops try and stop you and try and extort you for money, ring the embassy, the Irish embassy, and let them know that you're doing that, because they don't want that to do with that. Little did I know he wanted to bring me down to the station to pay, but I should have went ahead with that, because apparently that's what you're meant to do, and then they actually just kind of will try and get out of it or weasel away out of it, because they don't want you going down there. They just want you to pay them on the spot and hand them over cash. So he was arguing with me, I was arguing with him about it. Then this other cop came out of nowhere, and then he was basically saying his English was a little bit better, that I had to pay or they couldn't let me go, and I was telling them we had a flight in a few hours and they were telling me we couldn't get the flight. So it was getting quite stressful. Both of us were probably getting worked up a bit about it, and they walked away, and I just said, look, we're going to just have to pay. And I told they didn't ring the Irish embassy. We'd no data, of course, or we'd no credit. We had data, so we couldn't actually get through to them. So we were pretending like we were ringing them, and eventually they came back. When they heard me say about the Irish embassy, they kind of walked away and discussed it themselves, and they came back and eventually they settled it down to like $300. So I was like, right, fair enough. So he takes out his cash machine, and I was able to pay with Apple Pay, which is a bit strange. So it probably just went directly into one of their accounts. So that was, one of the things on the final day that really turned it into a nightmarish holiday. Then, not long after that, we were making our way to the airport, because we had to drop the car that we had rented back as well, and the sickness started to kick in more and more that we were feeling. Maybe it was the stress of what just happened as well, but we were both starting to feel much more under the weather, I would say. And we got to the airport anyway, and we were like deciding maybe should we eat or not eat. I was like, maybe I'll get something that'll settle the stomach. Aideen was like, no way, I'm not eating that. And here, then, to be honest, the choices were terrible. I went to the place that I thought looked the best. I got like some sort of turkey sandwich. It was the worst looking sandwich I've ever seen. Didn't look like turkey at all. I ended up just leaving it there. I didn't eat it. Then Aideen said, I'm just going getting sick. So I was like, if you start getting sick, you might not stop. Usually that's what happens to me when I get going. So she was like, I don't care, I'm going, I'm just getting it out. So she went, got sick, came back, telling me she felt great. Next thing, 5 minutes later, same again. 5 minutes later, same again. She couldn't stop. And I was still not, after getting sick, I was holding it together because I was like, I'm not completely gone that far yet. And the flight was like coming, or it was going to be taken off in the next little while. And we were actually queuing up at this stage, and Aideen was still in and out to the toilet. And eventually she came back, and I was texting her saying we were bored. We were the last people to board as well because she was still in and out to the toilet. She didn't feel good at all, but we got onto the plane, and again, even on the plane before we took off, she was still going in and out to the toilet on the plane. They were asking her was she okay, and they were giving her like bags and stuff to get sick into on the plane if she needed to. And I thought I was after getting away with it. I was feeling like, right, I'll fall asleep here now, it's a short flight to Miami and I'll be fine. So we got up into the air, and we were about maybe 20-30 minutes in the air. I had the seat back, pulled up my hood. I was feeling like I was dozing off. Then absolutely out of nowhere, just projectile vomited on the seat in front of me. And I tried to hold some of it back, grabbed the bag off Aideen, got sick into the bag. It was the weirdest thing ever, just came on me like out of nowhere. I didn't even have time to think, you know, normally you could run to the toilet. Maybe it was just building up inside because I was kind of suppressing it maybe mentally or something. I thought I was getting away with it, but that was quite embarrassing. The seats in front of us were destroyed. The person that was sitting on the outside aisle, she was a lovely girl. I probably scarred her for life, the two of us getting sick non-stop. So I just got sick probably maybe once, but it was quite bad, quite, you know, violent, I would say, if you were to look at it. But Aideen was still in and out throughout the flight. That was me done. Then we got to Miami, landed in there and got our bags. Aideen had to run and get sick into a bin on arrival. So quite embarrassing for the both of us. Probably why we would say it's the holiday from hell, because of those two things. And yeah, while I was editing the video, I didn't really go into the details about what happened and how it finished. So hopefully that gives you a better idea and that clears it up. And yeah, as I said, the Tulum experience, maybe for some people they will love it, but for us it just didn't work out the way it was meant to. So that's it, and on to the next trip, I suppose.